What up, everybody? Big Six Mike here. I'm joined again by my boy Noah. You can go check him out at Nordic Dova on YouTube. Does a bunch of gaming stuff. So if you like gaming, go check out his channel. So we're gonna be switching stuff up today. I'm gonna be telling the story, and he's just here to play my role, to sit there and laugh. So my story is about the time I went to New York City. So I've never been there, and out of nowhere I just got the encouragement, like, I finally want to go to New York City and go see it. You know, everyone talks about New York City, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I want to go experience that too. So I started asking around all my friends, seeing if they want to go. They can't, they're doing stuff. So, you know, I had to hit up those tier F friends.
The fucking not very fun to hang out with kind of friends.
Yeah, you know, the ones that don't got shit going for their lives. So I hit them up, and I was like, you know, thinking about going to New York City, let's go with it. And one of them was like, yeah, I want to go. I'll pay for everything. I got you on gas and all that. So I was like, all right, fine. You come in. I'm definitely going now. I don't got to pay for everything. Hell yeah, free trip. Let's go. So I pick her up. And they're like, oh, our other friend's going. So I was like, all right, go pick up the other friend. So we're driving down to New York City. It's about like a 5-hour, 30-minute trip, something like that. And we finally get there, and they got a boy in New York City, down in Brooklyn. So we go down to Brooklyn to go meet up with him, pick him up. And it's fun. So we get down there, we get to his apartment place, and we pick him up, all that. First time meeting him, you know, he's cool and all that. And I was like, oh, where we staying? And she's like, oh, that's right, you gotta find a hotel. So we find a hotel, and it was weird, because she's like, oh, let's go to the hotel. I'm like, it's like 10 o'clock. I thought, like, check-in's usually 3:30, right? Oh, the stutter was real. So I was like, all right, that's a little weird, but whatever. So we go there, of course. They don't got the room ready. I was like, duh. Like, we're hungry. So we go out. We go to McDonald's. And we're going through the drive-thru. And where you make the turn in the drive-thru, there was a big old brick wall, concrete wall right there.
Oh.
And I misjudged the turn, and I scraped my passenger fender on it. So that started off the New York City trip wonderful. But it really wasn't that bad. They got out, like, oh my God, you messed your car up and all that. So I got out, I'm like, no.
Just a little scrape on the side.
Yeah, what's your problem, homie? It's driving, isn't it? It's not broken. So it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something. We go to the hotel, we get the room, we go up to the room, and now we're all trying to plan out what we want to do and all that. So we order food, and so I was like, oh, this is my opportunity. The kid that we picked up from Brooklyn got into it to me and him one time in the past. So I'm like, great. And you always talk about how tough he was and all that. So I'm like, awesome. We're going to find out how tough this kid really is. So I started, you know, jabbing him a couple of times, little jabs here and there. And he starts to fight back. And so I literally just grab him, pick him up, and I throw him on the bed. I'm like, cuz, you don't want none of this. And then one of the girls comes out of the bathroom. She's like, what are you doing to him? I'm like, he says he's tough. I'm going to find out how tough he really is. She's like, don't put your hands on him again. So I grabbed him by the scuff of his hoodie. And I swear to God, I bitch slapped the shit out of him. Like, this man's about to cry. And they're yelling, why would you do that? Because he said he was tough.
Definitely the aggressor trying to act puffy in front of two chicks.
Yeah, he said if he ever saw me, he's gonna fuck me up. So I figured, like, let's run it. So now they're getting mad at me, but I'm like, I don't care. I came here free. I didn't have to pay for gas, hotel room. Didn't have to pay for nothing. Which is funny because none of them had jobs.
So how'd they get their money?
I know the one person was on unemployment. The other girl just got her taxes. That's what they were running on. Unemployment money and just getting their taxes.
One's milking the tax system and the other one. So the other one must actually have a job, but just got her taxes.
Oh no, she just got fired from her job. Because when they said that they were staying until Thursday, I went like this and said, "Don't you got work?" And she's like, "I just got fired." I'm like, "Then why are you here?
So not exactly.
You don't have no source of income yet. You're going down to New York City and buying all this shit. You have no money." Oh, stoop. I was like, stoop. I started hating on him right then and there. I was just going off on him. Like, y'all are retarded. I was the only one with a job.
So
making money.
Not model citizens at all. Productive members of society was not there at that present moment of time.
And then, so we got food at the hotel. And we're trying to figure out, all right, what we doing that night. And I started drinking. I'm like, I'm in New York City. My car's parked. I'm an Uber everywhere. So I started getting. Now, so I got a little tipsy. And this one I turned into I guess
pleasant human being.
Yeah, pleasant human being. So when I get drunk, I call everybody out. I'll call you out on all your BS. When I get drunk, I don't care. I'm calling you out, whoever you is. So I start calling everybody out. And then I turn to this one girl and I'm like, because she was posting some stuff about, oh, she's single and all that, blah, blah, blah. Why am I single? And I looked at her, I'm like, hey, you're single because you keep fucking with these fuckboys, dumbass. And I guess I didn't get a good look at her or anything, but
she probably didn't like that.
Though, I don't know why, but the dude and the girl's taking a shit, but yet the dude was in there with her. I don't know if she needed help wiping her ass or something.
That's questionable. That is very questionable.
She came out and she looked at me, and then she looked at her and she's like, "What did you say to her? She's all quiet and sad now." I'm like, "I told the truth." She tried fucking throwing a pillow at me, but I caught it midair and fucking whipped it back. But bah!
Uh-oh.
And so we finally the only thing I ever paid for was the Ubers. We caught an Uber twice. That's the only thing I ever paid for.
Were they in the car with you?
Yeah, I bought the Uber because they wanted to go to Times Square. I'm like, oh, let's wait until night because, I want to see it all lit up and stuff. So I bought the Uber. We went over to Times Square. Beautiful. I had a blast there. And where there's street performers and all that. And there's these guys. It was funny. There's these guys selling CDs. And these two girls. So the guy hands me a CD. And I go to walk off to go stand next to a Blicky boy. And next thing you know, they bomb rush the two girls. And they're like asking the two girls for money, money, blah, 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 blah. And the one who walks over me, he's like, "Hey, CD ain't free." I'm like, "You just gave it to me." He's like, yeah, but it ain't free. I'm like, "All right, here it is." Gave it back to them. And Blicky boy's like, "You gotta go get the girls." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "They're basically taking their money." I was like, "No shit." What am I gonna do? I don't care. It's not my money. They're not my friends.
Fucking life experience, bro.
You're right, exactly. I'm like, you go do something. You're supposed to be this big bad fucking person. You go do. He's like, he just stood in the corner like with his head down. Like,
supposed to be the kid with the Blicky, man. What
yeah. Oh god. And so I was laughing. I looked at him like, y'all just got hustled. They're like, "Oh, we don't care." I'm like, you should. You got no money income. And like we're going to like store to store, they're buying stuff. I'm over here in amazement on how broke people can spend so much money and not care. It's like, I make a good amount of money and I care about when I spend $30. And they're over here.
Yeah, they just don't care.
Yeah, so we get back to the hotel room and we start drinking again. I go downstairs.
Mm.
I forgot what happened, but we got into a big old fight or something, and I just like, all right, screw it. I left, went downstairs, went for a walk around the block, and I come back, but I know when I got up to the room, I was about to put my key card in, but I noticed that I could hear them perfectly through the door. So I was like, all right, because they were talking hellish shit about everybody.
Jesus.
Like, they're those people that like talk shit about everybody, but then goes up to you and be like, hey buddy, we're friends.
Like
Yeah,
Two-Face.
yeah, they're two-faced fuckers. And so I sit down and they're like, where? And I hear them be like, oh, where's Mike? They're like, we don't know. And they're like, we don't care. And I heard one of them say, we'll lock the door. I was like, oh, we locking doors now.
Wow.
Okay. Because they really got mad at me that I put them all on blast earlier. So they just wasn't having it. So I went into this group chat and I was like, oh, we locking doors now?
Uh-oh.
And I swear to God, this one bitch ran so fast to the door, I heard her unlock it and then open it. Be like, what are you talking about locking doors? I didn't tell them. They didn't know I could fucking hear everything that they're saying. They didn't know that, which will come into play later.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't know. I didn't tell them anything. And so I just look at her, I just smile. I got a big ass smile on my face. I'm like, y'all just show me like what kind of people you are. So I just get back. I'm eating the rest of my food. We got some kind of Asian food, so I'm eating the rest of my like spicy ass chicken. And they're going out, they're drinking and all that, and they start fucking drinking heavily. And I'm like, yo. And I wasn't drinking with them because like y'all ain't my homies or anything like that. I'm not drinking with y'all. And they just get drunk. Like this one girl got so drunk she falls on the floor. And the other two start freaking out. I'm on the bed laughing my ass off. I'm like, ha, that's what y'all get. And she starts like convulsing. Just like, looks like she's seizuring. And the guy, Blicky Boy, I thought he was gonna cry. He's like, no! And I'm like, yeah!
You would think they know their limits of liquor or any kind of fucking drink.
And so the one girl's like, oh, her mom says her mom says, oh, this is normal. She's gonna puke it out. She just got to, do her shakes first. I'm like,
God, how many times has this happened?
I know, right? You think you should know by now your limit.
No?
Yeah. And so they're doing all that, and now she fucking starts projectiling, vomiting.
In the room?
This was like a cruise missile coming out of her mouth. I was like, yo.
In the fucking room, like not
she
even...
puked all over herself.
Ugh.
Puked all over herself. I'm laughing my ass off at this. They're getting mad at me because I'm just sitting there laughing. It's like, it's y'all fault. Y'all take care of it. I'm like, it's mainly his fault because the dude kept pouring drinks and drinks, making the girls drink. Yeah, he was like, oh, another one.
Did
Another
he
one.
eventually get anywhere with that?
No, he didn't.
Oh my God.
That was the funny thing. We'll get to that. And so they start stripping her. Like, they took off her hoodie, her tee. I'm like, hey, hold up.
This ain't the kind of party we're having here.
Yeah. I'm like, stop it. You can strip her in the bathroom, not on this floor in front of my goddamn bed. Okay? And they just looked at me with disgust. I'm like, move her to the bathroom. Do what you gotta do. And they're so fucking weak, they can't move her. I watched them for 40 minutes trying to move her. And she didn't even move an inch. I mean, she's not the lightest girl.
Yeah, but like two people should be able to move a fucking...
Yeah.
Fuck. Two people should be able to move, especially one of them being a dude.
Yeah, that dude couldn't do anything.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking to myself, cuz you talked all this smack, and you can't move her from point A to point B. It's only like 10 feet, not even. Because they want to get her in the tub to like get her in like a cold shower or whatever.
Yeah, what, they gonna strip her? Like, whether they're just gonna...
We'll get to that.
Jeez.
And so I watched them for like 30, 40 minutes trying to move her. I finally said, fuck it. I almost started crying at how weak they were. I was like, y'all better, I'm like, move, fucking move. So I get up from her, I drag her ass to the bathroom, and I'm like, I'm done for the night. And I let go of her, and she almost fucking smacks her head on top. I fucking grabbed her hair. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? And I'm like, someone get in here, grab her, because I'm done. If I let go, she's smashing her head. So they're like, all right, they get in. And now they're trying to coordinate how to get her in the bathtub. It's probably like a foot or two, like the wall of the bathtub.
My lord.
They couldn't move. They couldn't drag her. So now I'm thinking to myself, how are they gonna lift her? So now I'm at like that little desk in the hotel room that you can sit at. And so now I'm sitting there. The one girl's looking at me. I'm laughing looking at her. The guy's getting pissed at me because all I'm doing is laughing. And it's like, y'all ain't my homies. She's drunk. I'm not touching her. I'm not getting old. She's drunk, okay? I'm not touching her. Fuck that. I don't know her like that. So I'm just sitting there laughing. Then he's like, fuck you, Mike. I'm gonna fuck you up. So I'm really like, come do it. And the one girl was like, she was FaceTiming her fucking ex the whole time.
Of course.
So so she's on FaceTime with her ex, trying to move her, but she finally put her phone down. So I take her phone now. I'm talking to her ex, and he's like, yo, it's lit in there. I'm like, no, there's just a bunch of idiots. And he starts dying. He's like, I gotta come with you guys next time. I was like, all right, you're probably better than them. Shit, I'll take you. He's like, bet. Now she gets mad because I was talking to her ex. I was like, go do something. So it took him. It was 34 minutes she was on it. She's still fucking puking everywhere.
My God.
Bleh, bleh. Now the guy got his puke on him. I made sure I didn't have fucking puke on me.
Was it chunky? Or was it just straight alcohol?
No, it was chunky. It was food and all that. Like projectiles. Tomahawk missile came out of that mouth.
Ew.
And he's saying, well, who's stripping her? I'm like, not me, homie. I don't know why they just didn't want to throw her in the tub with her clothes on. They wanted to strip her for some reason.
Yeah, because it's not like she's going to keep those clothes on afterwards.
Right. So I was just saying, I'm like, I'm sobered up at this time. So now it's a really good show for me.
Grand old time.
I'm watching this like it's a show on Lifetime. And so we look at the other girl. We're like, well, you strip her. You're a girl. She's a girl. And she goes, no. And me and the dude look at her like, you afraid of tits or something? The fuck? You got them too. Just take her shit off, put her in the tub. And then we look at, and then she's like, no. Gabriel's seen her naked more than I have. Then we're like, fine, Gabriel. You've seen her you've seen her body more than we have. You do it. So he put up a fucking fight, but we just told him to go fuck off. So they got her stripped. I forgot what they did to get her in the tub. But it took them like another 40, 50, almost an hour to get her in the tub.
She's still, she could have fucking alcohol poisoned herself.
That's what I was saying.
Like, she's still this sick.
I was saying that I'm like, wow, okay. And so they get in the tub, and all of a sudden, I guess she woke up for a little bit, and she's hot, and she's like, oh, I need hot water. So she turns it on hot, and next thing they had the bathroom door closed, and so next thing you know, they open the bathroom door, just a fucking rush of steam. I'm like, what the fuck? And then they propped the door open. It turned the whole fucking hotel room into a sauna. I couldn't fall asleep. So now I'm hot as hell and I can't sleep. So I'm getting pissed. I'm trying to sleep. The dude's running in and out of the bathroom, checking up on her. He's trying to get in the pants of the other girl. So he's like running out, checking on her, running back in, talking to her. I'm like, what the fuck? And then there's one time where he just left the bathroom and just stayed on the bed with the one girl. And after like 30 minutes, I looked at him like, don't you gotta go check up on her? He's like, she's good. I'm like, she could have drowned by now. Could have a dead body in there.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, how about you stop trying to get in the pants of the one girl and you go make sure ain't no one dead.
You don't need a passed out dead girl in the
bathroom. So I went over. They didn't have the AC on. Wow. I'm like, the fuck's y'all problem? So I finally turned the AC on. I passed one. He was like, fuck you, Mike. I was like, bet. So I was like, he's like, no. I was like, all right, shut the fuck up then. So I get to bed, and then I heard some commotion like woke me up. So I wake up. It's like 3 a.m. or something like that. 4 a.m. now. And I see the one girl finally walk into bed. I'm like, oh, okay, she's still alive. She gets in the bed. She still doesn't know where the fuck she's at or anything. She's like moping up around, just fucking falls in bed. I'm like, great, everyone's in bed, let's go. She's like, all right. So the one dude's like, okay, good, everyone's going to bed. I fucking like do a fucking Patrick Star on my bed. I'm like, nope, this is my bed. So he fell asleep. Well, I guess he did. He said he didn't fall asleep, so he stayed on the ground. I finally went to bed. We woke up at 10:30, something like that. We all did. And the first thing she asked was, who stripped me? And I was like, not me. You press charges on them. Because she started saying, I feel violated. I'm like, that's exactly why I didn't touch you or wanted you stripped in front of my bed, because of shit like that.
Now she feels violated. After violating herself with all that alcohol, now she wants to feel violated. It's like, bitch, you like killed yourself last night. And now you want to be all, who stripped me? It's like, shut up. It saved your life.
So I was like, yeah, I didn't touch you. No, that was them. You pressed charges on them. And they were talking about last night and all that. And they wanted to go do more stuff. I was like, the only thing else I wanted to do in New York City was have some New York City pizza. So I was like, I'm not going nowhere. I got me some pizza. And so I'm eating fucking pizza for the rest of the day. I just stayed in the hotel room watching Naruto. I was having a hell of a time.
It's the best way to do it.
And then they came back.
Oh,
I got so mad. They have no manners. It's like they kicked the door down like they were SEAL Team 6. Yelling and shit. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't y'all got manners or anything? And they're like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so depressed and all that? I'm like, I'm not. I was actually happy just being able to relax. You don't understand why I came here, did what I wanted. Now I want to relax for like the day I have left here. And so they leave again. They come back. I'm still in the hotel room. They're like, they keep asking me like, what's your problem? What's your problem? I'm just like, nothing. You're my problem. You guys are annoying as hell. I don't like you. I don't know why I'm here with you, but hey, you're paying for everything, so I don't really care. Then it comes to be nighttime. I go back downstairs for another smoke, and when I came back up, they go to the dude and they're like, why don't you just fight him? And I heard the guy go, because he's bigger, taller, and much more stronger than me. And I'm laughing like, haha, yeah, you know it. And after that, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking done. And so I went in there. I was planning on leaving them there. I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm going. They can take a train home for all I give a fuck. And when I was making that decision, they're like, we need to get our stuff out of your car. I'm like, what else you got? She's like, I got my glasses. And they wanted the fucking water bottles. So I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, why? What's up? So they're like, oh, they actually said, we're taking the train home. I'm like, I thought my prayers were answered. Holy hell, thank the Lord. So we got down we got all their stuff out of the car. Go back up. I start packing all my stuff, and then the boy was like, "Oh, after the first night, he was acting really friendly. He stopped his shit real quick. He's like, "Can you take me back to my house so I can get a few things?" I was like, "All right." So we go back. He picks up more clothes and all that. I drop him off at the hotel, and I was like, "Bye bye," and I skirt off, and I go back to doing my own shit. I was like, I just got a free vacation in New York City. And the funny thing is, he calls me up the next morning like, "Hey, can you come get them?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "They're broke." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "They have no more money." So I'm like, "Oh." So I'm like, "Haha, broke bitches," the dumbasses. And the one girl hears it. The one girl takes my phone. She's like, "Hello?" I'm like, "What up, broke bitch?" She's like, "Fuck you." And I was like, put the other girl on the phone because I want to yell at her too. But she's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, then put me on speaker." And so I'm just yelling through the phone, "Broke bitches, you dumbasses, y'all are all broke, stuck in New York City." Because they want me to come back and come get them. I was like, no. I'm still doing my own stuff. So they hang up, and the next you know, I go to the group chat, and they're posting snapshots of their bank accounts. I'm like, and I look at the wad of cash I have in my pocket. I'm like, that's more than both y'all bank accounts combined together, homie. But I'm like, all right, look. I'm like, look, y'all got money. Get back home. So they took the fucking train back home. Oh my god. And then they called me up again. They're like, "Oh, you need to pay us back for all that." I'm like, "What? No. Definitely not."
Yeah, why would she want you to pay you back for it?
Because they have no money.
Oh yeah, I forgot they need their money back because since they don't work for their money.
Yeah.
Need more free money.
They're like, "You gotta pay us back." I was like, "I ain't paying you back shit." And she's like, "Oh, we're gonna get the homies on you." She said she gonna get her daddy on me. I was like, your daddy like 50, 60 years old. What's he gonna do? Beat me with a cane? Oh, I was so done. So I finally left New York City. Went to a few small places, then got back home. And just rested. I was so happy to see my bed. My look on my dog's face when I got back home. He's like, "I thought I lost you." I'm like, "I'm here, buddy." And they've been talking hellish shit.
I can imagine.
It's hilarious.
That's a sweet ending to a story, though. Fuck those people.
I'm gonna get my daddy on you. I'm like, fuck you. You can't even find me.
Honestly.
Alright, guys. That was my story about New York City, the time that I went to New York City. Hopefully next time, you know, the A-list friends want to go.
Next time I will.
I'm done with the tier Fs.
Yeah, don't go to the toxic tier F people. The freaking
failures of life.
Oh,
You really know how to ruin a trip.
the toxic members of society.
Yeah.
Don't talk to those people. Gotta make sure we gotta get the homies together and go to fucking tear up New York City or fucking whatever place we go to.
I mean, you and me can go back and see Blicky Boy again.
I'm gonna beat his ass.
I know you want to see him.
Yeah. I want to see Blicky Boy.
Yeah, I know you
He's
do.
a fucking Blicky Boy.
Alright, guys. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Keep a lookout for the next video. Like and subscribe. Share the video. See you.